When I was 20 years old, my self-image was extremely dark and negative. I'm ashamed to admit that I was living a life of unrepentant crime. I was a pimp, a hustler, a robber, a drug dealer, a junkie, and a thief. The sad part is that back then, I was proud of that image of myself. As a result of that negative self-image, I ultimately went to prison for a very long time. 29 years and 17 days to be exact. I went in on February 24th, 1983 and was released on March 12, 2012. I was 20 when I went in and turned 50 just 10 days after my release. I won't get into the specifics of the crimes for which I was convicted. I think it would suffice to say that I had a very negative self-image and I acted accordingly. Self-image is extremely important because how we think about ourselves affects how we feel about ourselves and how we interact with others and the world around us. A positive self-image can enhance our physical, mental, social, emotional, and spiritual well-being, and conversely, a negative self-image can decrease our satisfaction and ability to function in these areas. My self-image speech is about growth, transformation, and renewal. This box was left to me by my mother, who died of pancreatic cancer in 2004 while I was sitting in Folsom Prison. I was given this box by my sisters when I got out of prison in 2012. Inside the box are many of the letters I sent to her over the years. I've reread these letters again and again, and I can see in them that a transformation was taking place inside of me without my even realizing it. These letters represent positive change. In these letters, I literally went from blaming my parents, the police, the district attorney, and even my victims for my demise to accepting full responsibility for my actions and proactively going about the business of changing my attitude with regard to what I had done. I began to feel for my victims and the terror they must have felt having a gun pointed at them while they were being robbed, not to mention the psychological damage that must still endure to this day. In any case, it was my mother and family's steadfast support that enabled the metamorphosis that ultimately transpired inside of me. I also have inside this box a watch that was left to me by my father, who also just recently died of cancer in May of this year. The watch has a lot of significance to me. I feel as though he was trying to tell me in his own special way that time is precious and that I need to make the most of the time I've got left. After spending 29 years in prison, I believe that I have a full understanding of how very precious life and time is now, and I intend to make every second count from here on out. Next, I have a compass. This compass not only represents all of the different directions of the earth, but it also represents the directions I've traveled throughout my life, and lastly, it represents the many different twists, turns, and directions my heart, spirit, and mind and life have taken. I have an abundance of paperwork in this box also. All of it represents the many businesses I've tried to start since I've been out in this world. Most of those businesses have failed, but that hadn't deterred me. My motto is, nothing beats a failure but a try. I'm having a great time trying to attain financial success, and I'm sure that my pile of paperwork will likely get much larger before I find the right formula. Lastly, I have a pupa. As I'm sure most of you know, a pupa is a hard outer protective layer which shelters an insect during several stages of growth. In the end, a beautiful creature emerges from that shell. I would conclude by saying that I believe I have undergone a major transformation over the years. From a mean and brutal thug to someone who now cares about humankind and about making a positive mark on this world before I go. My only objective at this point is to do or create something that will leave this world a better place when I leave it than it was when I came into it.